Shalom Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God for the reading and the understanding of His word. And family, I want to kick this off right this week by saying this. I want to wish every king, every queen, every prince, and every princess, I want to wish you a wonderful, magnificent Sabbath. And once again, thank you for bringing us in with your brother this week and family this week here. This particular lesson here tonight, I want to go ahead and I want to make a declaration right now to those who are listening. This is going to be one of those lessons where you really have to pay attention. So if it's one of those scenarios right now where you cannot put every bit of your attention on this lesson and listen, then this is not the lesson for you right now. Come back to it later or not at all. But for those who are serious about our history, for those who are serious about wanting to know where our power comes from, for those wanting to know the truth in regards to spirits, not demons, not that nonsense, we talked about that last week, but in regards to spirits and devils. And if you really want to know the truth about this, then tonight is going to be the night that you put away all distractions and focus. Because this is one of those lessons here tonight. It's not very precept heavy, but it's a story that we are going to talk about. So family, please, let's just go ahead and jump right into this because we have a lot of ground to cover. So family, please open your Bibles to the 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha, and we are about to get this on and popping here tonight. Now, the basis of what we are going to be reading from here tonight, I had a minute saying that there, reading. But the reading of tonight is going to be coming from Luke chapter 22. But before we go there, let's talk for a second, family. Let's talk for a minute. Let's talk about these devils. Now, remember last week, we talked about demons. And we know just how much the whole story of demons or BS did not refer to in the 1611 KJVA, that's the King James Version Bible, with the Apocrypha. It's not there. It's not there. But angels and spirits are. And devils for damn sure is there. So that's what we're going to focus on here tonight, all right? But before we do that, we got to talk about the biggest devil of them all. Because there are many devils. But there's the one great one, the one great devil. And his name is Satan. And we're going to see how Satan gets down when it comes to the Israelites, okay? So first and foremost, what we're going to do, we're going to go further back into our history. We're going to go further back. We are going to read from the book of Job. Now, family, please, I want you to go to Job chapter 2 and verse 1. And what I'm doing right now, I'm setting the stage for what's coming later. All of this is going to matter, okay? Job chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God, meaning in this case, angels, when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. So now I want y'all to understand something because we really have to break this down because Christianity will teach you that Satan, that this is like the other high end of spirituality. They will pretty much have you believe that Satan has the same power as the Most High, which is an absolute lie. Do you see what this right here said? It said that there was a day that came when the Most High called the sons of God, meaning the angels, up to him to present themselves before him. And Satan came along with them, right now showing you that Satan has no power over the Most High. He listens to whatever the Father says, and he does what the Father tells him to do. Let's continue watch. Let's watch this. Verse 2. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? Like, nigga, where you been at? Where you coming from? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it. So the Most High was like, come here, where you been at? And Satan was like, yo, I've just been going up and down, back and forth and everything. Hey, like how you told me to do. I'm doing what you do. I'm doing what you tell me to do. Verse 3, watch this. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? Let's stop for a second because this is very important to what we're going to read in Luke. So the Most High said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? My servant. What does it mean to be a servant of the Most High? It means to, number one, keep the commandments, be righteous, and do his work. And the Father asked Satan, have you considered? In other words, while you're going up and down off the earth, have you ever pondered to go mess with Job? Let's continue. That there is none like him in the earth. That means a lot. The Father said there is none like Job that was in the earth at that time. A perfect and upright man, a commandment keeper, a man of righteousness. One that feareth God, one that does what God says, and escheweth evil, and shews away evil. He doesn't deal with evil. And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou moves me against him to destroy him without cause. So the Father saying to Satan, hold on, how come you never went after Job? My servant, you know better. Why? Because they all have boundaries. You know what them boundaries are all about? Because the Most High did not tell them to go mess with Job. So they couldn't. Everything that happens in the spiritual world, everything that happens in the physical world, anything that happens at all is all controlled by the Most High. All controlled by him. He is the person, just like we read last week, he's the one that controls good and he controls evil. And it's showing right here. But he's choosing this one person to go after the righteous, and that's Satan. Satan is who God uses when he's pulling out the big guns to go after those who are not easily broken. Okay? All right. So we read that there. Now let's go to the book of Luke. We're going to the book of Luke, chapter 22. We are going to read all of this. It's not going to be long either. But if it just happens to be long, then guess what? Go away. Very easy. You don't have to watch. All right. Luke chapter 22, verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover. So this is letting you know this was an actual day in time that this happened. An actual day. This was an event that took place in history. And the chief priests and scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people. Now, this is very significant right here, because this is going to come back later. Now, first and foremost, who's it talking about? And the chief priests and scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people. So first and foremost now, these scribes, who are those, family? Who are the scribes? Who are the scribes? This is talking about other Israelites, these Pharisees, those that did not believe that Christ was the actual true one Messiah. These are black people, Hispanics, Native American people. That's our people. But what they want to do, they were conspiring. They wanted to kill Christ. They wanted to kill him, get rid of him off the earth. But they didn't because they were afraid of the people, because people love Christ. So they didn't do it. They knew better. Verse 3. Listen close. Then entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot, being of the number of the 12. So this is talking about Judas Iscariot. And many of us already know that is the betrayer. First and foremost, his last name means to betray. Iscariot means to betray. Now, why was it so important for the Most High to make sure that we understood that Judas had a different surname? Now, was Judas not an Israelite? So now we have to go, we'll come back to this, we have to go to the book of Isaiah chapter 44 and go down to verse 5, please. The book of Isaiah, chapter 44 and verse 5. We're going to find out about this surname. Watch this. Isaiah chapter 44, verse 5. One shall say, I am the Lord's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel. Now, whether you know this or not, family, whether you know it or not, Israel is your last name. This is why when we were taken into captivity, that we were stripped of our actual names and were given last names like Rogers, Benson, Jones, Jackson. They removed our names from us. The surname, our last name, is Israel. And of course, if we went into captivity with those last names, then everybody would know who was in captivity. And those were the children of Israel. That was us. But the Most High also allowed this to happen, and our surname was removed. Why? Because we kept breaking his commandments. We kept breaking the commandments of the Most High. Just like right here, with Judas Iscariot. The father went ahead and removed his surname and took it and said, you don't belong to me. You're not mine. You're not mine. So it goes to put you in the mindset of how the father was looking at us when he sent us in captivity. Like, y'all do not obey me. You are disrespectful and disobedient, and I'm going to turn my back to you. It truly makes you think about just how pissed off the Most High was with us and still is. We still his children, but he's mad. Okay, so let's go back to Luke 22, and I believe we were at verse 3. I'm going to read that one more time. Then entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot, no longer Israel, being of the number of the 12. So now let's talk about Satan. Satan entered into Judas, showing you that there is a spirit that can inhabit your body, even though you already have one. You already have a spirit that's in you, but other spirits are able to come in and inhabit your body. You see, that's not a demon, that's a spirit. A spirit. And what was going on right now? The betrayal. And the Father allowed Satan to do this. Remember, this is all the working of the Most High. Verse 4. And he went his way and communed with the chief priests and captains how he might betray him unto them. So now Judas went with the scribes and the Pharisees and all of the high priests and everything because they hated Christ. And so did Judas. Judas had a lot of things wrong with him. First and foremost, he was greedy for money. He wanted that money. You know that bag that these little niggas run around talking about here? Yo, I'm going to get that bag, chase that bag. This is the very same bag that they're talking about. The bag that contained the 30 pieces of silver to betray Christ, Yahushua. That's why whenever you hear one of these little young niggas out here saying that, you better correct them and tell them they better never say that again. Because what they do, they have no idea that they blaspheming the Most High with that statement to chase the bag. And if you are saying it, you better make sure that you stop. The last time you said it is the last time you ever better say it. Verse 5. And they were glad and covenanted to give him money. So they all conspired. Judas, these high priests, Pharisees, they all conspired to kill Christ. Why? Because everybody knew Christ was the power on earth. Christ, his light, made all of the devils just back away. Just no, they had to get rid of him. Verse 6. And he promised and sought opportunity to betray him unto them in the absence of the multitude. So they were afraid of the crowds. They were afraid of all of those that loved Yahushua. You see that this is the second paragraph. This is the second verse that spoke about this. They were afraid of the people. going to show you that there were people that actually loved Christ and the disciples for that matter. Now, y'all have to understand something. The disciples and Christ today, if they were alive today doing what they did, they would be considered celebrities. They would be. Not saying that they were looking for the clout, just saying how the world would define them. They would define them and categorize them as celebrities. They were widely known all throughout. All right. Verse 7. Then came the day of unleavened bread when the Passover must be killed. And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare us the Passover that we may eat. So Christ said for Peter and John, he sent them before and said, y'all go get the place where we are going to eat. Verse 9. And they said unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare? So they're like, where are you sending us to? How do we know where to go so that we can prepare this meal? Verse 10. And he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth in. So they was like, yo, hold on one sec. So Christ was like, look, I'm sending y'all to the city. When y'all get into the city, there's going to be a brother that's going to be waiting with a pitcher of water. Y'all follow him so he can take y'all to where y'all need to go. You have to remember, Christ had the insight. He was not all knowing, because Christ is not all knowing. And how do we know that? Because Christ does not know when the Father is going to send him and the angels back. So he's not all knowing. But Christ was phenomenal with his wisdom, thinking, and discernment and perception of things. All right, let's continue. Verse 11. And ye shall say unto the good man of the house, The master saith unto thee, Where is the guest chamber, where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples? And he shall shew you a large upper room furnished, there make ready. So Christ let them know, yo, listen, we got this big room. So in other words, if it was today, we rented out this big room and my man's going to show you where to go and where to go set up at. And you're going to see that Christ did this for a reason. And they went and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover. And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. So there was a time that was coming where they were all going to gather for the Passover. And Christ had him and his brothers, all of them there. That includes Judas Iscariot. And he had all of them come, and they all sat and broke bread together, as we should be doing today. All right, verse 15. And he said unto them, with desire, ding, 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 that word desire, we're going to come back to that. With desire, I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. So Christ is saying, before I die, before they do what they're getting ready to do to me, I want to sit down with my brothers and have this meal. Now you're about to find out why this is so important. You're about to find out why Christianity never told you about this. You're going to find out the real reason why right now. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God. Now, that's a very, very prominent statement. Now, what is Christ saying right here? He said, yo, first and foremost, I want y'all to understand something. This last meal that we getting ready to have right now, I'm not going to have this meal again until the kingdom comes. I want you to please, family, please listen to me, please. I want you to open your ears. I need you to understand, and especially our kings and our princes, I need you to understand what Christ is saying right now. Christ said, I'm not going to eat like this again until I'm back with my brothers, until I am back with my sisters, until I'm back with my family. We are going to break bread again at this table. Watch this, family. I'm telling you, this is deep. This is so deep. Verse 17. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, take this and divide it among yourselves. Divide what? What does the cup represent? That's the blood. Divide this blood right here. Your family, divide it among y'all. I'm for everybody in Israel. Verse 18. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. Now, Christ is making this very plain and simple for everybody. He said, I'm not going to eat and I'm not going to drink like this, because they was eating good that night. They were eating great. He said, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to drink, and I'm not going to sit at a table again until the kingdom of God comes. What kingdom? Come on, family, what kingdom? What kingdom is he talking about? The kingdom that's on its way, the very same one that we are waiting for. Christ said, I'm not doing any of this until I am able to sit at that table and eat with my brothers and sisters, the 1/3. Man, family, how great is this? How great is it hearing what Christ is saying right now? Saying, you know what? I'm not eating until the kingdom comes. That's right. All right, here it is. Verse 19. And he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. So many of you already know what this is. This is communion. So let me tell you right now, there are no laws to communion. You can do it whenever you want to. You can go break bread with your family, preferably unleavened bread. Break bread, sip wine, red wine preferably, and you do this amongst your brothers and sisters whenever you choose to, at your leisure. It's up to you whenever you decide that you want to do it. Okay? Verse 20. Likewise, also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you. What does he mean by this? That New Testament. So if he's talking about a New Testament, then guess what there has to be? There has to be an old one. Because all throughout the Old Testament, it was foretold that Christ would come, that the Savior of Israel would actually come. So now Christ is saying the Savior is here. I'm here. And now I'm about to shed this blood for you. Everything that was foretold of me, everything is coming. I'm here now. Everything that the scriptures said is about to happen. Verse 21. But behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is with me on this table. So Christ is saying, now look, there's a nigga among us right now that is going to betray me. And he is right at this table right now. So now, again, Christ and his so great methodic thinking. Watch what he's about to do, family. Watch what he's about to do. Verse 22, and truly the Son of Man goeth, as it was determined, but woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed. So Christ said, now, the nigga that's going to betray me, death to you. Death to you. Now, according to Christianity, that is so very uncharacteristic because remember, Christ is all love, right? All love, rainbows, and teddy bears. That's not what the scriptures say about Christ. Christ said, death to the nigga that is going to betray me. Verse 23. And they began to inquire among themselves, which of them it was that should do this thing. So if y'all not figuring out what Christ did, Christ caused a frenzy at the table. He caused a frenzy among his brothers. But why? because Christ wanted to ignite their spirits. He wanted everybody's spirits to show. You're going to see this here in a second. Watch. Verse 24. And there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. So now what did Christ do here? This was very, very intelligent what Christ did. So he said, there's a traitor right here at this table. And so now there's strife. What is a strife? A strife is a fight. The disciples are fighting amongst each other. Like, nigga, come, like, hold on, yo, nigga, it better not be you. Like, nigga, come here, nigga, it better not be you. Like, nigga, get off me, it ain't me. Like, first of all, nigga, me and him, yo, we roll tough. Yo, it's me and him. It's me and him. So now you have all of these egos that's going at each other right now. All these different egos amongst the disciples. And so with all that strife, what's happening? What's showing right now? That cloud of their spirit. And Christ is just sitting there just watching all of it. All of it. Stirring up all them damn devils. Christ is amazing. Yahushua is absolutely amazing for what he did. Verse 25. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. So he's saying, look, first and foremost, the term benefactor means a man or a woman with money. The kings of the Gentiles. Oh. Are those Israelites? No. Who are these? These are the rich. The rich. Today we will call them Jewish people, the ones that control the world. The Rothschilds, the Bilderbergers, all of them. Even some of the Arabs. So this is what it's referring to here. So who today would be those individuals? That's on the low end of that. That's your entertainers. All them niggas that's out there right now, ass clapping them cheeks, making whores out of the daughters of Israel, making lustful little thoughts out of the men. These rappers that will tell and sell their music to degrade our people. Nothing new under the sun. Verse 26. But ye shall not be so, but he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as he that doth serve. So what is Christ referencing right now? What is Christ saying? First and foremost, the greatest among you. Who was the greatest among all the disciples? Who was the greatest in that entire group? There was nobody but one that was great, and it was Christ. It was Yahushua. And what Yahushua is saying, so first and foremost, you see how all y'all niggas acting right now? Y'all niggas think y'all something? Nobody considered the greatest at this table was me. You see how he took them spirits and got them all riled up? All the focus left off of Yahushua and was on them. And Christ has reminded them first and foremost, I'm the greatest here. And even I know that I'm the greatest here. And even as great as I am serving our people. But just a couple of minutes ago, all the disciples were saying that they were the greatest. And Christ went ahead and riled all them damn spirits up. Showed the truth. That man is incredible. Verse 27. For whether is greater he that sitteth at meat, or he that serveth? Is it not he that sitteth at meat, but I am among you as he that serveth? So he said, first and foremost, listen, I'm the one, but I serve our people. Verse 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations. And I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me. Now we about to start getting to something now, boy, because now Christ is getting ready to lay down what matters. He said, first and foremost, I am appointing to you the kingdom. Now, we talked about this last week. Remember, who was that kingdom for? The kingdom is only for one people. One people. One. We're about to find out exactly who those people are. Verse 30. That ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Again, out of Yahushai's mouth, out of his own mouth. You see, Christianity is such BS. It is such a lie that they sit around and tell all these people that they're able to get into the kingdom when out of Yahushai's mouth, he said that it is only for one. One. That kingdom is for the children of Israel. Why? Because we are going to be the ones judged. Judged based on what? Based on the laws, statutes, and commandments in these scriptures. The ones that we are to follow, not the other nations, us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people. That's our book. This is our book. These are our laws, our rules, our scriptures. And Yahushua is saying that for those who endure to the end, keep the Father's commandments, y'all are going to sit at the table with me in that kingdom. And what is that kingdom? It means rulership. This is the third week in a row that we're reading from Yahushua that it will only be the Israelites that receive salvation, and it will only be the Israelites that are going to be judged based on what they've done. You cannot lie on this book. Verse 29. And I appoint you a kingdom as my Father hath appointed me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Yes, I wanted to read it again. Verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, stop. For those who don't know, Simon is Peter. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, said it twice, get his attention. Behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. All right, now. Now we got to break some things down now. Wait a minute. So this is where we went to Job originally. I wanted to make sure that y'all saw that, so that you can see first and foremost how Satan plays. First and foremost, who did he go into? Bow! He went to Judas first. Then what did he do? Now Christ is telling Peter, Satan has desired you. So that means that Satan went to the Most High and said, can I go down there and go get some of Peter? And what did the Father say? Let's find out. I'm going to read 31 one more time. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. As wheat. Why did Satan want to go after Peter? What is so significant about Peter? Why Peter? Why not the other disciples? Why Peter? So now we have to go back, and we don't have to go here in the scriptures because this story is very known. What did Peter do that got everybody's attention? Do you remember during the storm, the waves were all crazy, they were crashing, and the disciples were on the screeps, on the ships, and they were screaming. Remember, they were screaming because they thought they were going to die. And remember, Peter was freaked out when Christ showed up, remember? And remember, what did Peter do? He said, hey, look, Yahushua, if that's you, then let me come in and walk on this water with you. And what did Christ say? Come on. What did Peter do? Peter got out of the boat and walked on water. Why is that so important? Why was that particular event so important? Because Peter defied the elements. Peter knew at that moment that he had a power that nobody else but Christ on this entire planet was able to muster up. You see, all of us Israelites, we all have that power. We all have it. But it is sin that keeps us from that power. Satan saw that. Satan knew where that power was at because Satan already knew what was getting ready to happen to Yahushua. He knew what was getting ready to happen, that he was getting ready to die. How do we know that? Because Satan, remember, he took Christ up all the way up and showed him the entire world. And remember what he offered him? He said, I'll give all of this to you. We already know what's getting ready to happen to you. That's what he was talking to Christ about. He said, yeah, we know that you're getting ready to take this ass whooping, the worst ass whooping on the face of this planet, previous and future. Nobody ever died like Christ did on this planet. Nobody. The worst murder to ever be encountered on this planet. And what did Christ? He said, get behind me, Satan. Get away from me. So Satan knew he could not defeat Christ. But he said there was somebody else down there, somebody else with just as much power. I'm going to go get him. And y'all got to remember that Peter was Christ's right hand. That was his man. That was his best friend. That was his road dog. All right. Verse 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. So you see this? I'm telling y'all, this is what Christianity is not going to bring out. So Christ talked to Peter and said, listen, you have this power. You have it. And when you are converted, meaning when you stop thinking like you're a human and when you accept the fact that you are God and you have come into your power, strengthen your brothers and your sisters. Tell them who they are. Tell them who they are, not only who they are, but what they are. Christianity will never tell you this. They will never tell you that it is only the 12 tribes of Israel that have this power on the planet. You see what Christianity does? They give everybody on this planet, they try to give them the same power that we have, but we know that that's just not true. All we have to do is just look at us in sports. I don't need to say anything else after that. Verse 33. And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee both into prison and to death. So y'all got to understand what's up with Peter right now. See, Peter was no flake. He was no punk. Peter was like, yo, listen, I'm ready to die for you. I'm ready to go into prisons with you. But Christ had to check him. Now, remember, Christ conjured up all them spirits and he saw something in Peter already. He saw something in Peter's spirit. Let's find out exactly what that was. Verse 34, and he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day, because that before that thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me. So he said, yo, Peter, look, listen, dude, listen. You my man. I love you. But you're going to deny me 3 times, boss. You are going to deny me. So what I'm going to allow right now is that the cock is not going to crow, and that's a rooster. The rooster is not going to crow this day. The next time you hear a rooster crow is when you will deny me 3 times. Verse 35. And he said unto them, speaking to the rest of the disciples, when I sent you without a purse and scrip and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said nothing. So Christ was like, yo, hold on a second. So now we got to set this stage right now. So here you have Peter, who's gung-ho. Peter's like, yo, listen, I will die for you. I'm going to go to jail with you. Okay? Christ knows that there's something coming right now. And the disciples are starting to feel something's happening right now too. So he's saying like, listen, look. When y'all didn't have no money or anything like that, yo, was y'all ever lacking for anything? He's checking them. He's checking their mindset right now. Watch this next part. Verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. So Christ knows what they get ready to come into. This is something here that is definitely not discussed. So Christ is like, yo, wait a minute. Whoa, hold on, time out. So y'all niggas got money, right? Y'all got loot? Everybody got bank. Okay. Where y'all guns at? If it was today, yo, where y'all gats? Yo, where y'all burners? But back then, they did everything with swords. Where your swords at? Where your weapons at? Do y'all know what we dealing with here? I know y'all niggas not coming empty-handed. So for everybody that's sitting there talking about Christ's love and all that, no, Christ was like, where y'all guns at? Where are they? We need them. Showing you that Yahushua will bust a cap in somebody's ass quicker than a crackhead. Yahushua was no punk. Even he was like, yo, put the toast to him. Verse 37. For I say unto you, that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. Speaking about the Old Testament, the things that happened and was foretold about him in the Old Testament. And he was recognized among the transgressors, for the things concerning me have an end. So he said all of the things that was foretold about me in the Old Testament, all of these things are getting ready to happen right now. And who know it? These sinners, all of these transgressors, these breakers of the law, they all know what's getting ready to go down right now. Why? Because the spirit that was happening around this place right now was off the charts, absolutely off the charts. First and foremost, you have Satan in their presence, lurking, circling, waiting for that opportunity to get into Peter. Because remember, at the moment, Satan is in Judas. Whoo, man. Verse 38. And they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough. So what how should I say? He's like, all right, yo, y'all got your swords? Or if it was today, yo, y'all got the gats, y'all got the burners? All right, yo, that's good. Yo, this should take care of it right here. Come on, let's roll. But you'll have, the little weak link Christian pastor sitting there talking about Christ is all love. Nah, Christ was about that business. Verse 39. And he came out and went as he was wont. Okay, that's not wont, it's want, meaning he's going somewhere. To the Mount of Olives, and his disciples also followed him. And when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that ye enter not into temptation. So in other words, this is not the time to be slacking. You know what temptation is? That's sin. Things that will get you to sin. And he's telling them, this ain't the time for that. Verse 41. And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast, and kneeled down and prayed. So a stone cast, meaning you took a stone and you threw it. That's how far Christ went to go pray. He went to go pray on his own. Verse 42, saying, Father, and let me stop for a second. I really want y'all to pay attention to this. Saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. So what is Christ saying? He said, Father, yo, listen, I know it's getting ready to come to me. I know it's getting ready to come. But Father, if there be any other way that we can get around this, because Christ knew what was getting ready to happen to him. He knew the pain that he was getting ready to endure. And he went to the Father. He said, if there's any other way that we can get around this, please, can we do that? But if not, it will be your will that will be done. It will be yours that will be done. Now, do you understand why Satan went and got him and took him up and was like, yo, listen, all of this, I will stop this from happening. All you have to do is bow down and serve me. That's all you got to do. kneel down before me. But Christ wasn't having it. But it's showing you that he was very concerned about what was getting ready to happen. That's a man, a king. I get emotional with that. I ain't even gonna lie. Verse 43. And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him. So this just goes to show you that the Most High is not cruel towards his children. Although Christ was suffering from what was getting ready to happen to him, the Father took an angel and sent the angel down. It's like, yo, go minister. Yo, go get my son. Go take care of my son. Do you know how many times he's done that to us and we didn't even know it? Do you know how many times the Father then sent down angels to protect us? We have absolutely no idea of it. But in this particular scenario right here you have the angel that is right there next to Yahushai. And not only that, but who else do you have? What other angel is running around right now? Satan. So you have to think about that environment, everything that was going on at that time, like nothing else ever on earth. Here you have all of this angelic activity. Here you have Yahushai right here on earth, walking around with the disciples, and Satan roaring around as well. This was a scary time in that particular environment with all of them. Oh, this was a scary, scary time. Very, very unearthly things taking place. Verse 44, and being in an agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground. So you can only imagine what Christ was going through. He knew, he saw it. He knew what was coming, but he said, I'm doing this for my brothers and my sisters. And yet people, they mock Christ. They mock Yahushai by wearing a filthy, disgusting cross around their neck and having them in their homes and all of those things. Have it painted on their cars, all of that. And I've asked this question in the past, and I'm going to ask it again. If your child, let's just say if it was your newborn baby, a robber broke in, stabbed that baby in the head, and ripped him all the way from brain to scrotum, would you wear a knife around your neck to symbolize that? No, of course you wouldn't. So why in the hell would you do that with Yahushai, knowing what this man went through? Verse 45, and when he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow. Watch what he says. And said unto them, why sleep ye? Why y'all niggas asleep? Rise and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. So you can only imagine this. Christ went for a little while to go pray, and all they had to do was stand guard. That's why they had the swords. Stand guard, yo. There's niggas that's going to be coming. Y'all have to understand what was going on here. Christ knew everything that was happening. That's why he said, hey, get the knives or the swords so that we can have protection for ourselves. If we got to murk somebody, we got to murk somebody. Hey, that's just how it goes down. Verse 47. And while he yet spake, behold, a multitude, and he that was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them and drew near unto Jesus to kiss him. So now, what's happening? Christ came out of prayer. The disciples were found asleep. And Christ is like, why are y'all niggas asleep, man? I told y'all to watch guard. I told y'all to pay attention. Keep the swords ready. And so now what happened? Here's a gang that's coming. And Christ is looking. This gang is coming. The multitude, it's a lot of them. And who's leading them? Judas. No longer surnamed Israel now. So now here you have Judas and Satan that's coming after Yahushua. And what did he do? He led the pack and went to go identify Yahushua with a kiss. Now, for all of those stupid, idiotic Christmas and Easter movies, whatever little faggot white boy they got playing Yahushua, is always so feminine. Judas, you betray me with a kiss. The hell up out of here with that. Get out of here with that old bitch shit like that. This was more, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. You bitch ass nigga. Really? You gonna try to front on me with a kiss, nigga? Seriously? That's what you about to do with all these niggas right here? And you think you gonna reach in, nigga, and you gonna try to, what? That's how that went down. Verse 49. No, should be verse 48. Verse 48. But Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss? When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? So the disciples like, yo, hold on. Oh, now, mind you, think of the scenario. So here you have, first and foremost, this gang, this multitude, and they are surrounding Christ and the disciples. So what happened? This is exactly why Yahushua said, get the swords. Get the swords. So what the disciples say, yo, hold on. The disciples like, yo, hold on. Yo, who we killing first? Because we are about to body some of these niggas right now. And when did Yahushua see all that? When he conjured up their spirits. These are some killers. And justified. Watch this. Verse 50. And one of them smote the servant of the high priest, and we know that was Peter, and cut off his right ear. So Peter was that dude. Peter was no slouch. Peter was no punk. Peter reached, grabbed that sword out, whop, cut my man ear off. Took it right off. And Jesus answered and said, suffer ye thus far. And he touched his ear and healed him. So hold on a second. Now we had to break this down. Christianity will never tell you this. So what happened? This is another black man. What did Christ say to him? Christ said, look, brother, you suffered enough. Hold up. Take your ear back. So it wasn't that Christ was upset with anybody, because Christ is the one that told them, get your swords. But it was with that particular brother right there. Remember, Christ, he sees everything, knows everything, knows every spirit that's in every last one of us. Why? Because he knew them spirits from the beginning. So Christ had mercy on this dude and was like, listen, yo, look, brother, I already know everything that you already done been through. Hold on, time out your hair. Take your ear back. Christ loving his brothers. And had compassion for a nigga that came to kill him. But he said, yo, I already seen and I already know how much you suffered. Here, yo, take your ear back. Now imagine if it was somebody else. The story probably would have been a hell of a lot different. Verse 52. Then Jesus said unto the chief priests and captains of the temple and the elders which were come to him, be ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves? So he's like, yo, hold on a second. So look at who it is. These are Israelites. These are black, Hispanic, and Native American men. That's what they are called today, but they weren't called that back then. So he said, wait a minute, hold on, time out. Y'all niggas don't even treat a thief like this. Y'all don't come up with all these knives and staves, and a stave is like a wooden staff. It's like, yo, y'all don't come with all that against a thief. Why y'all coming at me like that? What's the problem? Why y'all niggas rallying up against me like this? Watch this. Verse 53. When I was daily with you in the temple, ye stretched forth no hands against me, but this is your hour and the power of darkness. So Christ is calling them out like, yo, y'all bitch ass niggas, hold on, time out. Y'all didn't do this in the temples. Why? Why did they not do this in the temples? Remember what we talked about earlier. The people would have killed them. The people would have murked them. They would have stomped them out. So they waited until it was dark. Bitch niggas. Bitch niggas. How many people do y'all know that will jump somebody? How many people have y'all seen get jumped? How many people have jumped you? It's the same spirit, family. It's the very same spirit. Nothing has changed. Those same spirits that were back then that would jump somebody are the same ones that do it today. There's no difference. There's no difference. Then they took Christ and led him and brought him into the high priest's house, and Peter followed afar off. So here it is again with Peter. While the rest of the disciples didn't follow, but Peter did. Why? Because that's Christ's man. Even after what Yahushua told him, Peter was like, I'm not leaving him behind. I'm not leaving him behind. That's my man. But where they take him to? They took him to another black man's house, a high priest. These are Israelites. Verse 55. And when they had kindled a fire in the midst of the hall and were set down together, Peter sat down among them. But a certain maid, meaning a young woman, but a certain maid beheld him as he sat by the fire and earnestly looked upon him and said, this man was also with them. How did this woman know that Peter was walking with them? Because as we talked about earlier with their celebrity status, they were widely known. And this little young chick was like, oh, hold on. Hold on, nigga. You was right there with them. Y'all know our sisters. Verse 57. And he denied him, saying, woman, I know him not. That was the first denial of Yahushua. So now, where's Satan? Now Satan is in Peter. How do we know that? Because now he's lying. What was Peter's kink in his armor? What was the kink? What was the kink? Anger. He had an issue with anger. Verse 58. And after a little while, another saw him and said, thou art also of them. And Peter said, man, I am not. Like, look, nigga, no, that's not me. Like, all right, come on, nigga, stop. Yo, get out my face. That's not me. All right, yo, bounce. Stop. Leave me alone. Verse 59. And about the space of 1 hour after another confidently affirmed, saying, of a truth, this fellow also was with him, for he is a Galilean. And Peter said, man, I know not what thou sayest. And immediately while he yet spake, the cock crew. So the rooster them belted over the rooster. And Peter was like, oh, hell nah. And it all came right back to his remembrance. Like, oh man, nah, nigga, come on. Nah, no, I didn't do this. I did not do this. I did not do this. And the Lord turned and looked upon Peter, and Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. So now they don't usually talk about that in Christianity. You don't hear that part when it said that Christ turned and looked at him. Can you imagine the feeling that Peter had inside of him? But who was Christ actually looking at? Was he looking at Peter or was he looking at Satan? So you could only imagine Peter looked at Satan like, you bitch ass. Oh, I'm going to get you. Ooh, I'm going to get you. But what happened with Peter though? Peter had a kink in his armor. That is why it is so important that you don't. Because these spirits are waiting to inhabit you. Not a demon, spirits. All right? Verse 62. And Peter went out and wept bitterly. And the men that held Jesus mocked him and smote him. Now, let's take a... Now, remember, these are Israelites now. They did not get to Pilate yet. They did not get to Rome yet. They're at the high chief priest's house. I want y'all to see what these cowardly men did. Watch the next part. And when they had blindfolded him, they struck him on the face and asked him, saying, prophesy, who is it that smote thee? Bitch niggas. Bitch niggas. Didn't even have the balls to hit him while he was not blindfolded. Do you see how these niggas, they did this to Yahushua? They did this to the Son of the Most High God. They did this to the Word. They did this to the one that was there from the beginning, the firstborn out of everything. They did this to him. Cowards. They blindfolded him. Verse 65. And many other things blasphemously spake they against him. So not only were they punching him in the face and hitting him with all types of stuff, but they were mocking him, they were spitting on him, they were doing all these things. Now, mind you, this was not even at the whipping post yet. They beat up Yahushua before he even got there. Oh, man. Verse 66. And as soon as it was day, the elders of the people and the chief priests and the scribes came together and led him into their council, saying, Art thou the Christ? Tell us. And he said unto them, If I tell you, ye will not believe. And if I also ask you, ye will not answer me, nor let me go. So Christ's like, why am I wasting my time? Why am I wasting my time? Why? For what? Y'all niggas ain't gonna believe me anyway. How many times I already said who I was? Y'all ain't gonna believe me. Y'all have seen all the miracles that I've done. Y'all not gonna believe me. Why bother? Y'all not gonna believe me any damn way. So what am I wasting my time for even talking to y'all? Verse 68. And if I also ask you, ye will not answer me, nor let me go. So he said, I'm not wasting my time talking to y'all niggas. For what? Hereafter shall the Son of Man sit on the right hand of the power of God. So what's happening right now? Christ is thinking. In a second here, I'm going to be back with the Father. I'll be back with the Father here. I'm not worrying about y'all. Verse 70. Then said they all, Art thou then the Son of God? And he said unto them, Ye say that I am. Y'all say that I am. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. What happened there just now? There was some concern. Because Christ has made that declaration. Yo, I'm about to be back with the Father. And it all came back to them. Like, what did we just do? Verse 71. And they said, What need we any further witness? For we ourselves have heard of his own mouth. So what happened here? So now they're in their feelings, but they're like, okay, you see, he's saying that he is the Son of God. He's saying that he is the power. He's saying that he is the Son of the Most High God of Israel. This man is a blasphemer. Kill him. But what did Christ do? Christ just checked them. He just checked them. They were like, y'all niggas don't hold no power over me. I'm about to go back to the Father. Y'all hold nothing. But what was going on throughout this whole time? First and foremost, you had Satan, the devil of all devils, that went into first Judas, then went into Peter. So if that one, that the damn Satan, the damn devil, how many other devils were there that was going into all of the other rest of our brothers and sisters? It was a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch. During that time on earth was that time right there was one of the scariest things that have probably ever been encountered on this planet. More than the flood, more than any disaster that history tells us about. That time frame right there on earth when that was happening with Yahushua and all of these damn devils that was surrounding our people, that had to have been, the energy that was surrounding that was probably the most frightening thing ever. All of these celestial beings that was all over the place. They were all over. They were all over. But who allowed this to happen? The Father said this was supposed to happen. And why did it happen? It happened for you. All of that happened for you. Christ endured and took all of that for you. You. And this is why when we sin, this is why it's such an insult. It is a major, major insult to Yahushua and what he's done. That's why we can't. That's why we shouldn't. That's why we have to stop with the stupidity. We have to stop with the sin. Because just think about it. If you don't, you're dead. You see, people try to downplay what Christ actually did, and that's just ridiculous. You have camps that say that Yahushua is not real. He was a figment. Those are Pharisees, just like them. Those very same camps that sit there and talk about that Christ was not real are the very same ones that are in these damn Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes and all of that. It's the very same people. And many of you listen to them. Y'all watch them on YouTube and other various platforms and stuff like that. And it boggles my mind. It truly does. You hear them say the things that they say, and yet you still support these people. There's something seriously wrong with you. It is. And family, that's that. That's that for that. So after this history, right? After learning all of this here, what's your next move? I'm going to end it on that. I'm going to end this lesson on that. After you hearing everything that you just heard, reading everything that you just read, what is your next move? Are you going to be on the side of righteousness, or are you going to be on the side of unrighteousness? Are you going to obey the Father's commandments, or are you going to obey the unrighteous practices of this world? And that decision is up to you. And with that being said, Israel, I love you. I'm out.